Red's a good color for the head of a fly. I'm using pressure tubing that you would just go to the automotive store and you can buy a 10 to 15 foot roll of it. And it's small enough to make a good head on the fly, but yet it's large enough so you can get 50-pound test leader through it. How about that? Fly colors, I love different color combinations. The best color I like is this yellow mixed with a little bit more yellow, followed up with white. This has been really productive, especially in Area 13, the South Sound. If I work with today a red color, that's the head, going to be wrapped around. And then I also like the hot pink, the red, and one of my favorites. Now this is real polar bear hair. Came out of Alaska back in the 30s, and I was fortunate enough to know the gentleman that tied flies, had quite a large amount of it, and he gave me enough to last me a lifetime, because I really don't use it that much, but it's just beautiful. But when you put it with a purple with a little black combination with a mylar insert, that's important. So this is basically step one, finding the colors, putting them together and arranging them, and the next time we get together, I'll be using this and tying up a few of these. Lesson number 2. You take your tubing and you just put the red sewing thread on to start with. And then you throw a couple little half hitches. Real simple. Now, let's build the fly. I like to use what's called mylar. I put it on right away. That puts it in there. I don't have to fight with it later, and it works out really well. And all I'm doing is taking the thread and wrapping around it back and forth. But you don't want to get it very heavy. You just want to make sure it's tight. And I like to use half hitches all the time. It's amazing how good that works. So now we have the tube, the mylar. We've also put the first wrap on so nothing will slide. See, that's important. If you don't put that first wrap on there, it'll slide off the tube. So now we're ready to go. We take and figure out our color combination. Let's start out with the yellow and white with a little bit of cinnamon. We call this cinnamon. It's kind of a brown color. And you just snip off a little bit. Now I try to, if I want it long, I try to get right down to the meat of where it's actually hooked to the tail section of the skin. There, look at this little piece. Now, you can do it a couple of ways. I like to kind of pat it with my hand this way. I find that that kind of helps line up all the pieces. And I lay it down, and now I want to add just a little bit of yellow right here. Now, I don't want a lot of yellow. I just want to make a line in the fly itself, like this. You see how that's going to look? Now, I might want to make just a little bit of bright yellow up on top, up in here, just to give it a little bit of a flash, as they say. And again, pat it all up, like so. See how I'm pulling it together and I'm patting it? And that's important that you do that. Gets everybody lined up. Now, at this point, I take my scissors and I just trim it so it's all nice and flat here. Here's our thread, mylar, all attached, everything's ready to go. And this fly material will go right over and around the tube. It's kind of like rolling a cigarette, because you have to kind of work your fingers to put it all together, just like if you were rolling a cigarette with tobacco inside of a paper. And then you just keep wrapping. Now I'll speed up a little bit here so it's not so boring for you. Usually when I'm tying, I can tie a fly, in about 40 seconds. I was taught not to use a vise because when you're on the boat or in a river fishing, that many times you'll lose your best setup and you need another one. Well, you can't find a vise and all that. And so you learn how to do it standing in the river tying in the fly without a vise. Okay, now I'm going to trim the nose. Make it nice and even. Sometimes you can put an angle to it too. And then you come back here into this section, like so. And I like to trim it off at an angle, all right? Come on, pretty stuff. There you go. So, when it's all done and said, look at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. And there's more coming. Stand by. So we have the thread wrapped on the tubing. We're going to take our mylar now. You can buy mylar that fits inside of squids, and it's all packaged up, but I don't use squids, I use flies. So what I've learned is if I twist it like so, and take my scissors, and cut that plastic head off, now I have the mylar at the right size even. And then it can be placed onto the tubing, a few wraps with the thread. Now it's important also that you be laid out, ready to go. Everything's trimmed, colors are put together the way that you want it to look for the fly. It's all set. So now it's just a matter of picking one up, making sure that all the hairs are there. Nothing's going to be left out. Nothing worse than getting yourself all set up and only half of the hair material is in there. So now we're going to just get it all set here. And it's fun to make something and then go out and catch a fish with it. That's the thing that I've enjoyed the most. I've been tying flies since I was 5.5, 6 years old. So I probably make it look easy. Now I'm going to give this head kind of a shape. And so when you're tying them up, you can be creative. Now I like to put just a little bit of a head up in this area on it, right in here. And then I come down to at the back part and I pull hard, which really secures all the hairs on this, all right? And that's important to do. Then we just throw the old famous half hitches on. You can go as many as you want. I've been doing it for so long that I pretty fast pull it off, trim the nose. Now you don't want to get real close to the threading, but you do want to have a nice nose, and there is a nice shape to it now. It's fat up here and kind of tapers down into a nose like a jet. And then just kind of flip it over. Now you know you're going to have your beads. If you're going to put beads in it, you know you're going to have your hooks. So when you cut the tubing, that's important because you're looking for a balance, all right? So I'm going to bring it back like I standard usually have learned over all these years. Oh, about 3/8 from the hair here to out, about 3/8 of an inch. And sometimes I have to hold it in my teeth to get it cut. But there you go. Now this is a good winter color. The pink, red, white, a little bit of purple, and a red head. And then we're going to take fingernail polish, clear, and we're going to coat each one of these heads But let's get them built first. All right? So now the next one I'm going to do is going to be similar to the same way. I take my plastic tubing here, this head, I guess. I don't know if it's a tube or it looks like it's just a poured piece of plastic. And I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to add it back on. And that is another part of learning how to tie Doc's flies, the Tehoki fly. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, everyone. Hello, everyone. And we're finishing up on how to tie my fly for salmon, also lingcod, halibut, any type of rockfish. Doesn't really matter. If you get the right color combination built, anything out there that sees it is going to have a lunch with it. But it'll end up you having the lunch, not the fish. So I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. If you have any questions about how I can help you become a better fish catcher, please email me at thokefilm at Yahoo, that's funny, .com. thokefilm at yahoo.com, and we can communicate that way. If you need some information on a different area to fish, please just email me up and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. And I'm just kind of putting this together, give you another look-see here. Let's try the all white with a red head. You know, this combination has won the South Sound Derby in Olympia 2 years in a row. Can you believe that? Out there trolling around these moochers. It cracked me up. I was really blessed that day. Yep. And then up in second place in the Boeing Derby up out of Seattle. That was $5,000. But it was on a all white with a red head. And I had a green glow twinkle skirt. It's kind of I guess they would call it a squirt. On a 31 to 32 inch leader behind my chrome flasher with a chartreuse paint job, leaving a chrome diamond in the middle. And I discovered that actually works like a beacon in clear water with sunlight. Learned that with the underwater camera and started catching fish a lot better because I knew now what things were going on. And with that camera, it really does help you understand how fish strike. Crazy, isn't it? Well, I'm going to just finish up on these flies. Continued good success out there. Hey, if you get a minute, swing over and see my other channel, Doc Sees Under Puget Sound. We have that live feed. And remember, I don't know if you've been watching at all, anybody, but seems like it. Remember when we had that little sea run cutthroat born in front of the camera and everybody named him Spot? Well, today Spot has grown into about 10 to 11 inches in length and is still hanging out around the camera. How cool is that? And that is a live feed on Doc Sees Under Puget Sound. Thank you for watching, everyone, and continued good success out there when you're fishing. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. We're back on the last leg of building the Tehoki fly. Let's talk about the herring and a herring strip added to the fly for a little bit of taste and some scent. I'm going to draw a herring out for you here, and you will see what part of the herring I want you to make a strip out of. This is the tail section here. up in this area right here is the gills. If you cut under the gill plate, there's a little bone structure here, much like your fingernail. That is really important in holding the strip to what I'm going to show you how to make, and I'm going to build it for you. So use that little bone area here, right there, and then you come down and you make a fillet. And we've talked about this in my other videos. But in this area right here is meat. This area here is all skin. And you cut it so that when it's in the water, it's doing this in the tail section. Are you with me? So I've made one already right here for you, a size, a sample. And I'm going to put a line across right here so that this is the meat area. And this area here is the skin, all right? So now let's build the most important part to this. This is a glow bead, and this is Monel wire that I used to use on my rods when I trolled. It's a trolling wire. So now you see how the wire's gone through the bead? No big deal, right? Pull it over tight and bring it in tight here and wrap it around at least a couple of good times, because you're looking for an area for the meat of the herring. Wait till you see this. You will be blown away. And you trim off the long part here. You don't need that extra foot of wire. So now we have a glow bead and we have a wire hook on it. How's that work? Well, you take the bait and you push it into the wire, and then it hangs on over the hooks, like so. Here, I'll continue building. So then, when it gets time for you to put the leader together, I like a 5/0 hook. And in that 5/0, it's important that you use what's called a bumper tie. Now I'm getting my leader out here. So when you learn how to tie this, some people put a great big, what they call a pigtail on it in this area here. I don't know if you can see it that well, but that's what I'm talking about. But when I tie it, I bring it all the way back close as I can get, and I wrap away from me a minimum of 5 times. All right? Now, I come back through the eye, real simple, clean, and see how I'm now like this? And all I have to do is twist, go over the top and bring it down. Twist, go over the top, bring it down. Twist, over the top, and bring it down, and pull it through. Look, no pigtail. Show me, there isn't any. You see how it's incorporated into the knot? That's not going to come apart. And when you feed it through the herring, don't snag up, right? So then, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our second hook. What happened to it? Oh, wait. Where's my second hook? All right, that'll be up in another video. Oh no, what happened to my second hook? Bye-bye everyone, thanks for watching. Here we are again. I found the hook and I'm ready to rock and roll with my knot. I like to use the bumper tie, and I like to tie my hooks close together. Now we showed this on the last shot here of the video that you saw earlier. And so we're going to continue our quest. Looks like I got a little knot in my leader here. Hold on. There we go. Now it's clear. Let's try this again. Up in front, through the eye. Helps if I had my glasses on. No, fine. Alright, so now you bring it all the way down. And you see how some people, when they tie up hooks, they bring them apart like this. What hook does they usually get? The back one. This one, what's that? Snags up on seaweed and everything else. So, bring these hooks right on top of each other, like so. See that? How this point's touching the back side? Can you see that? Now wrap away from you, minimum of 5 times. Come back up through the eye. See if I can get it in here. There you go. Back up through the eye. Hold it tight, don't let it spring apart. And twist away from you, and now you have an opening. Bring it over that hook, both of them, and bring it down. See that? Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to bring it back over, and down. All right? One more time. Twist it. Back over. Ooh, I let go. Let's see here. One more time here. There. All right. Twist. Okay, here we go. Twist it. Back over. And get that in that hook there. All right. See how nice it is now? Now all we got to do is just pull it tight, and we're good to go. See that? That's what you want. Now, remember that glow bead that I put the wire in? Check this out. Put that wire right there. There's my line, comes through. The hook is upward. It slides down to the hooks. Sits like this. Remember the herring strip I showed you earlier in the other video? You're going to love this. Here it is. Refined. The meat's in front, just like I told you about that herring, how it has at the gill plate, that little fingernail, hard bone. You want to make sure that that's incorporated in this. And then you run that wire that I have here into this hole of the bait now, that wire can make an easy hole in the bait. And look at this. This is your template for you to make more, but that is how that would be set up. Now, let's say we want to use an all-white with a red-headed fly. What do you have to do now if you wanted to change colors? You'd have to get a whole new set of hooks. You'd have to get a whole new set of leaders and all that to make it come together. This is what it looks like when it's finished. Pretty sweet, isn't it? Now I want to change colors. I don't want the white. I don't have to do anything but slip it over the knot tied at the top and use the same leader. And look at this. Maybe I want to use the purple and white with a little green and polar bear. All you do is just slide your leader through. Bring it on up. Come on. I can't see the hole here with all that around it. There we go. All right, there it is. Okay. Nice and easy through, see? Then all the way up. Like so. And now you're fishing the same bait, same hooks, but you're using a different colored fly. Wow, what a combination. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm working on a new system that makes it a lot easier for the both of us. You to understand what I'm doing, and me so that it doesn't take all day to edit up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I'll be back around like a donut.
Nice.
Oh, he's 20 anyway.
All right.
Bring him up a little bit more.
Look at that. Isn't there a beautifuler sight than a fish like that? Look at that thing. You know, that's winter blackmouth fishing at its best. The way the hooks are in him there, that is a beautiful fish. The net under him. Now, a lot of guys try to chase the fish with a net. Take the net and put it under the fish real nice and easy. Bang, he's in.
Oh.
Oh! You know, it's hard to hold the camera and try to net at the same time.
I'll do it.
Did you do that on purpose? Okay, here we go. Oh, what a beauty. Okay, bring him up to the net. We'll show you how to do this here. I won't look through the eye of the camera. I'll just do it. Here we go.
Okay.
He is coming in head first. Look at that. Okay.
Right.
One-handed net job. Okay, bring him aboard here. Let's get out of the way. Nice fish.